Hey, what's up, guys? Gonna be a review of Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 7. I understand the stream died for some people, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that are frustrated out there. But I will tell you that this was, this is definitely one of the best, and I'm being serious, one of the best Ring of Honor experiences I've ever had, watching the show live. It was, we got to see Jay Briscoe become world champion. You had match of the year candidates. You had, just a well-rounded card. I'm not going to say every single match was awesome. Definitely not one of the better Ring of Honor shows from top to bottom, but, you had some awesome matches and some awesome moments. And, Jay Briscoe winning the world title, man, I just, unexpected, definitely a mark out moment. Definitely, I think Jay is the guy. I think out of all the guys in Ring of Honor, Jay Briscoe is the guy that could take the company to the next level. It all started with the day one promo at Best in the World 2011. He just cut such an awesome, badass promo with his brother in the background. And, I don't know. I feel like it kind of got lost in the shuffle. I feel like after Best in the World, Punk cut the promo the very next Monday on Raw, the very next day. So maybe it kind of got lost in the shuffle, and they didn't really push Jay the way I would have liked them to. A lot of it had to do with his brother. I know he turned down a WWE contract because they weren't going to take Mark with them. That's what I remember. And, I don't know. I always thought he was probably going to be hesitant to accept the Ring of Honor World Title reign because I don't think he wanted his brother to be viewed as the lesser of the two Briscoes. But I'm happy it's done right now. And, I think Jay Briscoe's going to have an awesome title reign. He's got the mic skills, he's got the edge, he's got the attitude. And, yeah, man. So the match, I really didn't think it was going to happen. It really surprised me. I know Jay had an injured shoulder. It just seemed like there wasn't enough buildup on the television show and on the video wires. I don't know. It just, and a lot of times, and don't get me wrong, Jay Briscoe's had some really, really good Ring of Honor World Title matches. The Roderick Strong match from Only the Strong Survive was really underrated. That was a classic match. He had a great match with Samoa Joe, this bloody steel cage match. That was awesome. But there's also been like some Jay Briscoe title defenses. Nigel's first title defense was against Jay Briscoe. And Jerry Lynn had a title defense against Jay Briscoe. And they just kind of felt like filler. Like you really very predictable. You didn't think Jay had any chance of winning. And I think some people kind of saw that happening again here with Kevin Steen. But that was not the case. Steen and Jay Briscoe have so much history, and it's funny to see, man. 5-6 years ago, these guys were, headlining the shows in those great tag team matches, and now they're, in the Ring of Honor World Title scene. So it's just a beautiful thing, man. Like I said, though, Jay was injured, so the match didn't get really too crazy. For some reason, I was expecting a lot of blood. Briscoe and Kevin Steen, they had a lot of bloody wars in the past. I figured we'd get a lot of blood and maybe a lot of hardcore stuff. Really didn't get any of that. They just went out there and wrestled. I mean, there was a little bit too much interference. There was interference from SCUM, and then the Ring of Honor diehards would come out to, keep SCUM from interfering in the match. That got kind of annoying, and then it kind of turned into a sort of a lumberjack match as the match progressed, and then SCUM came back out. Then, you had a lot of interference on the outside. But while all that crap was going on, Jay Briscoe and Kevin Steen just busted their ass, man. You got some, great hard-hitting action, a lot of stiff shots from Jay. Jay kicking out of the package power driver, Kevin kicking out of the Jay driller. And really unpredictable. All the near falls are very believable. And Jay Briscoe actually did win the Ring of Honor World Title, and they played the Leonard Skinner theme. Just a great moment, one of the best moments in Ring of Honor history. The match probably could have been, a little better if both guys were healthy, but they still delivered a 4-star match, still a match of the year candidate so far. So everyone go check it out. Just an awesome moment with Jay Briscoe winning the Ring of Honor World Title, man. Long overdue. He's been in the company longer than anybody. He was on the very first show against Amazing Red. So, yeah, man, no one deserves it more than Jay Briscoe. Hopefully this title reign is the start of something huge for him. He could face his brother Mark. He could face Kevin Steen. He could face David Richards again. So, yeah, man, just a lot to look forward to in the Ring of Honor World Title scene. So, probably get Jay Briscoe versus Adam Cole at Border Wars, man. That should be awesome. So glad Adam Cole is moving out of the television title scene. Hopefully. I don't know, this whole thing with him and Matt Hardy, I just feel like Cole deserves better. Watching that television title match, I just felt like, damn, this is just not good enough for Adam Cole. He's just not showing the full arsenal. They were chanting, "You fat fuck," to Matt Hardy. He just, I don't know, he just doesn't have it anymore. The match is just very, very boring to me. They have Scarlett Matt, what was his name? Matt Taven. Matt Taven's new valet. She was actually like, giving Nigel a lap dance. So there was a lot of distractions during the Ring of Honor World Television title match, the triple threat match. Three-way dance. Really didn't care for it. I thought that was probably one of the weakest points on the show. What else? Michael Elgin versus fucking Jay Lethal. This was awesome. This was definitely the match of the night. Once again, at WrestleMania weekend, Elgin steals the show. I feel bad for Jay Lethal, because he is deserving of a Ring of Honor World title reign, but, I got to give him credit, man. He's been delivering great matches as well, man. The great thing about Elgin and Lethal, as you guys know, Elgin he does such a great job of getting the fans into his matches, man. Once again, it just created that atmosphere of holy shit. This is something special. Elgin actually no-sold the Lethal injection. And he just, got up, his facial expressions were just awesome. And, the crowd was just going crazy at that point. So, yeah, just great action from both guys, man. Just great near falls, great power, great, a lot of good submissions. Jay, like I said, man, Jay Lethal was awesome here. Him and Elgin tore the house down. This was the match of the night, match of the year candidate. This might end up being like 4.5 stars on that level. So, definitely probably the match of the year so far for, Ring of Honor without a doubt. So, also, let me talk about Roderick Strong and Karl Anderson. Now, coming back from intermission, now I feel like the first match from intermission, that's like the death spot. That's like the worst spot you can have on a card. Because people are not really coming back yet. Coming back from the bathroom, they're talking to each other. I just felt like no one was really giving this match the attention that it deserved. And maybe there was kind of a disconnection with Karl Anderson. For some people that might not watch New Japan, they might kind of, might not be aware of how hot he's been so far, coming off of that great match of the year candidate with Tanahashi. But I don't know, this kind of reminded me of Roderick Strong versus Kenny King from Final Battle 2009, where, people come back from intermission, it just didn't feel like, an important match, the important match that it should have been. But, overall, good stuff from both guys. There were some beautiful sequences with Roger countering, Karl Anderson's Ace Crusher, his version of the Ace Crusher. I forget what he calls he has his own move. He has his own name for the move. I can't remember what he calls it, but yeah. Him and Strong, definitely not as good as their PWG match from Guerrero Sans Frontier, whatever you call that show. That was an awesome match from, the mess they had in PWG was a lot better than this, but, they could have done better. We'll see what Anderson does tonight against Elgin at the television tapings, excuse me. Also, the American Wolves versus Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. This was excellent. This was I would say it was a better match than their Final Battle match. I think it went longer, and they kind of slowly built up to the action this time. The Final Battle match is just a little bit more shorter. I wouldn't say I expected more, but this match, it just felt like it just had a nicer and a bigger feel to it. I would say O'Reilly was the MVP. Once again, Davey and O'Reilly just beat the crap out of each other, just stiff as hell. A lot of innovative stuff here. O'Reilly did a beautiful, I think it was O'Reilly. He did a beautiful double dragon leg screw that came off awesome. A lot of suicidal offense, great near falls towards the end. There's actually a cheap roll up. Kyle O'Reilly so Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish retained. I think Fish actually kicked Davey as he was bouncing off the ropes. Then O'Reilly countered that into a small package to get the victory. But I'm still not quite sold on Bobby Fish. I think Fish is good, but I would say he was probably the weakest performer out of everybody in the match. But the Wolves still deliver. I think Eddie actually super kicked Davey and almost cost him the match. Kind of got me thinking maybe you could do a split between Davey and Eddie this time with the heel turn. See, the last time they didn't really do a heel turn. I think it'd be much more entertaining and a much better feud if one of the guys does turn heel. But, I kind of like the way the Wolves are right now. It's just kind of like, what do you do with them now? They didn't win the tag team championships. Where do they really go from here? You're kind of scratching your head thinking about that. But, I'm hoping we'll see the American Wolves versus Marufuji and Taishi Ishimori at Border Wars. I think that'd be an awesome match. I think that's what they probably need to do. But we'll see what happens there. So like I said, guys, you had 3 great matches on the show. You had the American Wolves versus Fish and O'Reilly. That was much better than their final battle match, in my opinion. Much longer. It just felt like more of an epic match to me. The main event, Jay Briscoe and Kevin Steen for the Ring of Honor World Title. One of the greatest moments in Ring of Honor history. That was an awesome main event. The match was still great. And like I said, the match of the night, Michael Elgin versus Jay Lethal for the #1 contendership. It looks like Michael Elgin will get a title shot probably in the summertime sometime. Probably at Best in the World in Baltimore, if I had to put money on it. But, aside from that, the opener was good. The ACH was extremely over. That was fun. Mike Bennett and Shelton Benjamin. Charlie Haas is an asshole, as we all know, and I'm glad he's out of Ring of Honor. I've been saying it for years now. But I won't really get into that. But he faced Mike Bennett. The match was entertaining towards the end. Maria took a super kick, and much better than their Death Before Dishonor 9 match, to be honest with you. What else did the SCUM match? The SCUM match. So SCUM faced the Ring of Honor faithful in a 5-on-5 tag match. It was good. It wasn't a clusterfuck. I thought it was very, very entertaining. I mean, it wasn't great. Not everybody in the ring is technically amazing. So, the SCUM thing, Carino kind of beat me to it, but he talked about how each and every member of SCUM, has had their own personal demons in the past. It's kind of like a group of rebels or former drug addicts, guys that went to rehab, or, like Jimmy Raven, Jimmy Jacobs, they've had their issues with drug problems, and then Rhinos had marital problems and anger management problems. Then you got Steve Carino, who's been called fat and out of shape, and he was kind of disrespected by the Ring of Honor faithful when he had his match with Bryan Danielson during his title reign. So, a lot of these guys just have had a lot of issues in the past. So it's kind of a cool stable. Someone asked me who's the better stable, SCUM or Aces and Eights. I can't really tell you, man, but I think the SCUM thing is definitely, I think it's a solid stable. It should be interesting to see where Kevin Steen goes from there. I love the Kevin Steen tease at the end where Matt Hardy was trying to help him win and he tossed Matt Hardy out. I think that was beautiful booking, and it kind of proves that Delirious is in tune with what the fans want, because I think he knows that the fans don't really want to see Matt Hardy there. So you had Steen actually toss Hardy out of the ring. He got a babyface reaction when he did that. But Jay Briscoe still wins the Ring of Honor World Title. Like I said, guys, awesome moment, awesome show, 3 great matches. I'm not going to say this is a great show from top to bottom. Like I said, the television title match was kind of dry. Some of the other stuff on the undercard was, mediocre to pretty good. But, definitely a successful show for Ring of Honor. Supercard of Honor 7. Check it out, man. Take it easy.